Welcome to learn object-oriented programming. Today class we can see about Java. So Java language was developed by James Gosling, Mike Sheridan and Patrick Norton in the year 1991. These people were worked in Sun Microsystem under the project Green Team. Then they have developed this initially for electronic appliances. After that they have released this as a commercial one. So firstly it is called as Green Talk. After that they can change the name as Oak. So they gave this name based on the symbol of strength. Then due to some trademark issues they have renamed it as Java. There is no expansion for this Java, so it is just simply a name. So we can tell Java is the general purpose high level programming language. It has a lot of features like object oriented, distributed, portability. It follows write once, run anywhere approach. So let us see the characteristics of Java one by one. First one is simple language. So because the Java reduce the code, that is in C and C++ several redundant code and unreliable code is there, it will reduce that things. It does not use any pointers, operator overloading, those things, so that it will make very simple and familiar to the people. The second one is object oriented. We can tell Java is the true object oriented programming language. It supports several concepts and everything, every code and data can be wrapped into the class so that we can improve the data hiding, and it has the ability to perform inheritance so that we can develop some compact code. The third one is distributed. We can tell Java is the distributed language. That is, we can share the code to anywhere, and the people around the world can work together for a single project. So because of its distributed ability, we can download our code, that is Java code, in our system, and just like in a local system. Then security, it provide more security to the coding because of the compilation and interpretation process. It eliminate the errors which is present in the code due to the exception handling methodology. It will remove the errors so that it will execute the program in a secure way. The next one is architecture neutral. That is, the Java language is a platform independent one. We can use the code in any platform. That is, you can develop your code in a Windows platform and you can compile it so that code can be keep it in the Linux software and you can execute the code. So it does not depend upon the architecture of the system. Then the portability. So because of this, Java program can be easily moved from one location to another location. Because of this architecture neutral concept, the Java language is very portable one. And support compilation, it has the compiler, so it will convert the source code into byte code, that is intermediate code. So that code can be executable in any platform. And it is also an interpreter language. So after compiling, we can take that code, that is the byte code, and the interpreter will convert it into machine readable code. So that due to this two-stage process, Java language is considered more secure one. The next one is high performance. While comparing to C and C++, Java provide somewhat, it will improve the execution time of the program. And multi-threaded concept. Multi-threading means multiple tasks can be executed at a time. So it supports multi-threading so that we can develop more interactive programs. Then the last one is dynamic. We can perform dynamic linking operation at the time of execution. So it will dynamically link several libraries and classes and packages to the code, so that this concept make Java is a dynamic programming language. Then here I am showing some of the difference between Java and C. Java does not use any keywords like go to, size of, like that. Then it does not support structure union, and it does not have this modifiers, type modifiers, auto, extra and register like that, and does not support pointers. So because of this concept, it will reduce the accessibility of the memory directly, and does not use any pre-processor statements, so like hash define, hash include. Then if you are having no arguments in the function, no need to give void keyword, just we can give an empty parenthesis, that is enough for writing a function without any argument. And let us see about Java programming environment. So all the Java program must run on a Java platform. It has two components, Java virtual machine and application programming interface. Let us see about JVM first. So it is an abstract definition of the computing machine. So actually it was used to provide the runtime environment, so in which we can run the bytecode. So after compilation, a bytecode is generated, so that code can be executed in this environment. So that is called as Java runtime environment. So it is actually the implementation of this JVM. It has several things, that is interpreter, garbage collectors, class loaders are there. With the help of that, it will execute the program. And Java has Java development kit, so it contains some group of tools which is used to develop Java program and compile the Java program. And this JVM has just-in-time compiler, so this JIT is used to run the program, and it will make the optimization on the program. And here I am showing the actual procedure of this code. So here if you are writing a code, Java code, that is considered as a source code. Now it will given us to compiler. So it is present inside the Java development kit. Then after compilation, it will generate the bytecode. So this bytecode is can be loaded into JVM. So this JVM is responsible for loading the code, and it will verify the code, then it will execute the code. So it will provide some runtime environment, that is the Java runtime environment, JRE. So in that the program is implemented. So it's mainly used to provide the memory area, and it will used to give the definition about the class file format and what are the memory registers, then garbage collected values. So those things are denoted by this JVM. And Java application interface, from which we can develop our Java program. So we can classify Java program mainly into three types. First one is a standalone application. So this is the normal simple Java program that can be executed in the Java interpreter. Second one is the application that is embedded inside the HTML files. We can simply say it as Java applets, and the Java programs which is run on web service considered as Java servlets. So while using this Java programming environment, first you have to download Java, then you can install Java, then we have to set up a path for execution environment, then finally we can test our installation. For this, you can use this website to download Java. So here Java SE is the Java Standard Edition. So this Java development kit contains set of tools which is used for executing, that is developing and executing the Java programs. So these are the things which is available inside JDK, and this is the directory structure of JDK. And once you have installed your Java in your system, you can change your path by moving on to your My Computer, then select the properties, advanced system setting, then from that you can go for system properties. Then here you have to click advanced, and here, inside the path, that is in the environment variable, you can set the path. So after that you have to test your installation whether it is working properly or not. You can go to your command prompt and go to the corresponding path in which your JDK is installed. Then you can type Java C -version. So it will show the current version of your JDK. Then you can know that your installation is correct. But if it suppose gives some errors like the command is not available, or it is not an internal or external command, means installation is wrong, you can reinstall the Java. And while developing your programs, either you can use a command line tool or interactive development environment. So here if you are using command line argument, you just open a window and you can type the code, then you can save it with the java.java extension, and for compilation you have to use java c, then file name .java. Then for executing, that is for interpretation, you can use the command java then the file name. That is enough. If you go for IDE, you can use any one of the IDE like Eclipse or NetBeans. So it has the editor, compiler, interpreter is inbuilt, so that you can easily develop your code. So next we can see the structure of Java program. So generally Java program having this much sections. Let us see one by one. So in this documentation section, it is used to give commands. So if you want to give any documentation about your code, you can write it here. Then if you want to insert some packages in your code or creating some packages, you can go for this package section. And if you want to import another package into your program, you have to use this import statement. So here this is the package name. Then if you are want to implement multiple inheritance concept, we need interface. In that time we can use this interface section. Then we can create the class definition. So in a particular Java program, we can create any number of classes. So the class with the main function is essential for this Java program. So any one of the class must include this main method. So this Java main method will start execution first. And here I am showing an example structure of a Java program. So these are the command section or documentation section. So these values are non-executable codes. This is only for user readability. And if you are having any packages, you can use like this package, then the package name. And if you want to import other packages into your code, you can use the line like this. Then you have to create a class definition like this. Then inside the class you can give the main function. So each and every Java program must have this main method. So this is the actual syntax of main function. First one, public is an access specifier, then static is a keyword, then void is the return type, and main is the method name. Then here the string class and arguments. So this is mainly used for command line arguments. So in this way we have to create main method inside Java. Then here I am showing the compilation and execution of the Java programming. So once you have created your code, that is saved with the .java extension, and when we are using Java compiler using, that is Java C, a byte code is generated. That is the code with .class extension is generated. Now it will given to Java virtual machine. So here the class loader, bytecode verifier and JIT compilers are there. With the help of that, it will interpret the code and it will convert it into machine readable form. So whenever we are performing this compilation, that is a bytecode is created. So that bytecode is given to Java virtual machine. So finally it will produce the result. So these are the things actually happen inside JVM. Once you have developed this class file, that is after performing compilation, you have can have a .class extension file in your system. So that code, that bytecode can be copied from your system, and you can keep it in any system, any other operating system also. It will execute just like as in your computer system. So this is the main advantage of Java programming. So it will improve the portability of the code. So let's end this session. So I hope you got some understanding about the basic of Java, how to install it and how we can compile the corresponding code, and you know about how to write a Java the code. That is the basic structure of Java code. So we will see the fundamentals of Java in the next class. Thank you.